Hello there, this is David from David Books and Comics, and today I want to look through a book haul. This is a Portuguese book haul. So I had visited Portugal, and of course I hit some of the local bookstores in a couple of cities, and two of the cities is where I found a nice supply of vintage books. What you're looking at is Vampiro Magazine, número março de 1950, 1950. So what this is, I think, is A Casa das Trevas de Ellery Queen. So it's an Ellery Queen story. And it has also a saint story, Ventura do Santo, a saint. So there you see the writers. This is, as it says, from March 1950. It has an Ellery Queen, Cheira de Vampiro, Casa das Trevas, a Stephen Leacock short story, $12.50, The Crimes. E Dorothy Sayers, Tooth for Tooth, Dent por Dent. And then you have O Homem Fat Cur Rapé, a G.K. Chesterton short story, probably featuring Father Brown, I'm not sure. A Maldição do Livro. And it gives you some background about this anthology. It's an anthology of short story pulp, kind of digest-sized pulp. Interesting cover. And yeah, I'm not sure who the artist is. Some people may know. And this one was published in Brazil, but obviously made its way to the mainland, to Portugal. Anyway, that's Vampiro. And I thought I'd show these. This is from a publication called Ibis Iish. And this is Shel Scott. This is number 18. This is an anthology. And if you look in here, there's the translator. It's Editorial Ibis. And this is from mainland Portugal, published. And as you can see there, this is the original title is the Shel Scott Mystery Magazine. It's literally an anthology book with short stories by people like Helen Nielsen, William Irish, Richard Prather. This one doesn't feature Shel Scott, that short story. Os Perseguidos by William Irish is a short story that takes place in Japan. And it's about a man who is in a house where there's geishas, and a woman shows up, and the story is about them kind of running from what looks to be a murder. So that's an interesting story, but the first story is even better, by Helen Nielsen. Desapareceu uma mulher, the disappearance of a woman, and with a very shocking denouement type ending. The next story is by Jack Webb, then Jonathan Craig, Gil Brewer, Richard Deming, and Michael Brett. So it's a who's who of hard-boiled crime fiction, short stories from Shel Scott Mystery Magazine. So that's that one. Number 18 of Ibis Iish. That's how you would probably say it in Portuguese. And this one I read, this is another anthology, Antologias Policiais. And there he is in all his glory, Shel Scott. This is, it wasn't all that much. It was only €1. And then you have the first story, again, Richard Prather, Jonathan Craig, Stephen Marlowe. This one, I think Chester Drum is the main protagonist in Terroristas, it's called. Terrorists. Gil Brewer, Richard Deming, Anyway, a good who's who. And this one features a photo cover. This one is a painted cover. You can see they're quite gruesome there. Anyway, so that's that one. Another Shel Scott. And this one is another Shel Scott, Antologias Policiais. And I haven't read this one. I've almost finished that one and read that one. This is number 14, publication Ibis, editorial Ibis, and there's Shel Scott in all his glory. And this one does feature Shel Scott. The interesting thing about this is when you buy the book is actually the pages, a couple of the pages are attached. Anyway, so that's that one. So it has a Cinco Musica 000 and Harold Q. Messer, Só por cima do meu cadáver. And I've wiped the covers and cleaned them. There's the stories. You have Richard Prather, A Conjura, Apunta para Sul, Por cima do meu cadáver, Decisão, Isto é tua morte, Robert Silverberg, Frederick Brown, Stuart Friedman, Harold Q. Messer. So interesting stories. Looking forward to reading that. And here we have another. This says Rafifi, but when you look inside, it says Ibis. And this is the Procurado por Homicídio. And it's Hunt the Killer is the original title. So Charles White, saído recentemente da penitenciária de Rayford, talvez se dirija para Palmetto City. Este homem está armado e é perigoso. So this man is armed and dangerous. His name is Charles White, just recently released from jail by Day Keane, one of the good hard-boiled writers. One of my favorite movies is a novel, Humphrey Bogart's version of Dark Passage, which is, I think Lauren Bacall's in it. I'm not sure. There's another Day Keane, Culpada por Medida. And the original title of this one is Framed in Guilt, Culpada. Nice. Interesting cover. Oh, by the way, this cover here, this is by, signed on the bottom, if you look, it's a McGinnis cover. And those of you who are paperback collectors would have recognized it right away. So I'm looking forward to reading this. Another Day Keane, one of my favorite hard-boiled writers. And I bought a couple of Westerns. And the company, and again, it's an Ibis Western, the Portuguese paperback publisher. And what do we got here? And these are some of the Westerns that they've published. They've Todd Hunter Ballard, Ross Pym, Shalico by Louis L'Amour. Let's see who else. Will Cook. Bird and Bud Arthur. Okay. Ernest Haycock, Cidade chamava-se Morte. The city called itself Death. And Os Cavaleiros da Noite. That's this one. The Knights of the Night. What's the original title? I wonder if it has it. By Nelson Nye, well-known Western writer. Riders by Night. Oh, there you go. Riders. Cavaleiros. Cavaleiros is also knights. But it's also riders. Horse riders. Here's another Ibis Western. And this one is Todd Hunter Ballard. Look at that cover. And this one's signed. It says by Darcy or Dursey. And that's a beautiful cover. And this one is from 1959. This is a first edition, Portuguese, the first Portuguese edition. And Thunderhead Range is the original title. And it says Rancho Tempestade. There you go. And Todd Hunter Ballard. Two Western writers that I'm familiar with. And this one had a nice cover. And this one is called Santiago Fug. That's City of Fire. And again, limited. It says limited edition. And this is from first edition Railtown Sheriff from 1965. The copyright's 1965. Copyright 1957. Right, so looking forward to reading these Westerns. All right, so let me just put that aside and I'll show you some more goodies that I found. So that's my Portuguese book haul. Now, in Europe, you'll see a lot of this. These are small, almost less than digest size, thin, basically novelettes. This one's called Justiceiro Anônimo. And this one's about a masked vigilante who is righting the wrongs that exist in the Old West. Justiceiro Anônimo. Forget the name. Her name's not Justiceiro, but it is a woman dressed up in a mask costume. And very interesting little novella. Anyway, this one is Colecção West. This is the Pact of Blood. I know who the artist is. Pact of Blood. And it's a translation, believe it or not. I suspect from the German. Tiny little... the text block is complete, but it's obviously a damaged book, but not the story. The story is complete. Anyway, Ruth Hussey, famous actress, on the back. And there's more. These were less than €1, obviously. Namrecia uma bala. So that's the name of that one. And again, it's a translation. And it's also by Ibis, if you can see there. And Alf Higaldi. It's a translation probably, like I said, from the German. And Namrecia uma bala is there's still a bullet left kind of thing. And this one is Madreiros in Portland. And I don't know what year this is. Again, Ibis Iish, in publisher from Lisbon. And look at that. It says Pedidos à Livraria Bertrand. And as we saw previous video, Livraria Bertrand is the oldest operating bookshop in the world. So Madreiros in Portland. So that's that one. That's, I believe, woodsmen, or what do they call them? Foresters in Portland, something like that. Tiros e pólvora. Pólvora is powder. And it has a different title there. Silver Cane is the writer. It's a different artist. Oh, did I show the back? So there you go with Jennifer Jones. And then you have Ava Gardner. famous actresses. And Tiros de Pólvora, with a different title on the inside. It's called Uma Mulher de Saloon. Okay, and there's none other than Grace Kelly, Princess Grace Kelly. And then we have Pelo Caminho do Ódio, by Road of Hate. And that's the title in the inside. And it's a translation. John Lack is the writer. And famous Italian actress, Pier Angeli. All right, so I've begun reading, as I say, finished reading one of the books. I want to read the Shel Scott. You've seen some of my Shel Scott collection, as I have quite a collection of Shel Scotts from the 1960s. These Shel Scotts are actually translations, like I said, of the Shel Scott Mystery Magazine, rather than the, as you can see there, rather than the single adventure series. Some of them are probably in some of the Shel Scott anthologies, which I've shown in a very early episode. Maybe I'll have to show those again, okay? Anyways, thank you for watching. Thanks for all the subscriptions and for helping the channel to grow, and all the comments are always appreciated. All right, thanks. Bye.